New York, since the cold of October, we have built something true.
People who I know from completely non-political backgrounds are getting inspired by this campaign.
It was either to go out there and actually do something about something, or to stay at home and doom scroll.
I think he wants like a city that's more affordable for people to live in.
I want to be in the meat grinder.
Yeah,
that's basically what
that's how it feels.
Living in the city, living anywhere in this world should not be difficult. I mean, it isn't that difficult. Like, all we need is someone with the will and the strength and character to fight for us. And I think we found that in Mamdani.
Every election that is so contested is a demographic battle to some extent. The city's demographics could change dramatically. 18% of the population today is Chinese. We haven't seen that before. The era of the Dems, these and those guys from Brooklyn is over. They've either gone to Florida or to heaven. So, the populations are shifting. Therefore, Mamdani's moment is this moment. If he needs to win it, it's because the demographics are different. Younger people are here. They're working in the computer-related or internet-related industries, and they're not making the kind of money they think they should or need. There's a revolt of some kind going on. And when you have that kind of revolt and the demographic shift at the same time, you come up with something new, and that something new may very well be Zohran Mamdani.
I look forward to being a mayor for every single person that calls this city home. Not just those who voted for me in the Democratic primary, not just those that vote for me in this general election, but all 8.5 million New Yorkers. And that includes Jewish New Yorkers who may have concerns or opposition to the positions that I've shared about Israel and Palestine.
That's why he won't denounce globalize the Intifada, which means kill all Jews.
This phrase evokes many painful memories. Memories of bus attacks in Haifa, of restaurant attacks in Jerusalem. And I heard from a rabbi about their roommate who was killed on one of those buses. And in hearing that and the distance between that impact and the rationale that some use of saying it, of speaking about the Israeli occupation of Palestinian land, is why I said that I would discourage this language that I do not use.
It is likely that Jews who are pro-Israel won't be voting for him, and that was never any different. It is also likely that others who are pro-Israel won't be voting for him. He's very clear about his positions. Will that help him in the city with the largest Jewish population in the United States and the world, except for Tel Aviv? Likely not. Will it be more difficult for him to govern? You'll probably see an exodus of Jews to some extent, which means a good deal of the mercantile class will be leaving, which presents him with a different set of problems.
Together, New York, we're going to freeze the... Together, New York, we're going to make buses fast and... Together, New York, we're going to deliver universal...
The mayor cannot freeze the rent. He can't. It's not real. There's no legal way to do it. It's controlled by an independent board, and then you're only talking about a fraction of the units. It's a nice slogan. Sounds good on TikTok, but it's not real. There are not going to be any free buses. The mayor doesn't control the buses. The MTA said yesterday we would have to study it for years to see if it's feasible. Now, I know the MTA. I know how to interpret their language. We have to study it for years. You know what that means? Not in your lifetime. That's what that means.
From a fiscal standpoint, as someone who works with large numbers of municipal unions, I guess I represent probably 150,000 active and retired civil servants. This is going to be very difficult for him to meet. Free buses means less money in the fare box to pay transit workers, for example. The ideas he's talking about are very nice and they're very idealistic, but ultimately it's going to get down to dollars and cents. The city is in very serious financial trouble, as is the state of New York right now. How he's going to pay for this? Well, that'll be the great magical trick.
Yeah, it sounds good. Flying buses, free food, freezing rents. It's all untrue. It is all untrue. There is no Santa Claus. He has no plan.
I'll freeze the rent for millions of tenants, make buses fast and free, and deliver universal childcare. And before you ask, I'll pay for it by taxing the rich.
I don't think you can take the position that you are against businesses and against corporations and against the creation of jobs. No, New York is all about business and entrepreneurism. We want more small businesses started. They create jobs, they create wealth, they create opportunity. We're not against the business community, we're pro-business. We want to work with them.
There's no question that Andrew Cuomo's problems are very, very significant. He resigned. Some people thought it was in disgrace. He said, no, that's not the case. But, you know, resignations of a governor leave a lasting effect. People don't leave that office because they want to. They leave because they either have to resign, they're too old, or frankly, they were forced out in an election or some other device.
I do hug and kiss people casually, women and men. I have done it all my life. It's who I've been since I can remember. In my mind, I've never crossed the line with anyone. But I didn't realize the extent to which the line has been redrawn. There are generational and cultural shifts that I just didn't fully appreciate. And I should have. No excuses. My resignation will be effective in 14 days.
He's the architect behind bail reform, people think, which is not popular in New York State by any measure. He's seen as someone who released his parole board, released cop killers from state prison. Not so good. On the other side, Mamdani, has no criminal justice record to speak of, has not talked a lot about criminal justice issues, except that he would put less police in situations where domestic disputes are involved, which frankly is very dangerous. Ask a police officer. Those are the most dangerous calls uniformed police officers go on. He'd put to get rid of cops in the subways and replace them with civilians in some cases. That is also a dangerous idea. But like all new ideas, they'll be tested and either they'll work or they won't. The likelihood of them working, well, not so great.
We were one of only 2 states that put 16 and 17-year-olds in adult prisons. It was inhumane. It was cruel and unusual, and I'm proud of that law.
It's personal for me. My oldest son, Anthony, last October was the victim of a vicious gang assault that could have killed him. And what happened to these juveniles? Cut free, because they went to family court, not criminal court. So how can both of you look at me? I almost lost my oldest son to gang violence, and the perpetrators went to family court and got a little pat on the wrist and was sent home to do it again and again. No, we need to start charging juveniles who commit violent crime in criminal court, and I'll appoint criminal court judges who follow the law and don't just release them because of no cash bail.
Sliwa has no chance to win this whatsoever. However, his target at debates has not been Mamdani. His target at debates has been Andrew Cuomo. Has he done damage to Andrew Cuomo? Unquestionably so. Are there votes there that Cuomo could have gotten in the Sliwa voting population? Not as many as people think. Sliwa's population of voters is a very dedicated to Sliwa population, very much Republican, very unlikely to vote for Andrew Cuomo, the Democrat. But could he take enough votes away from Andrew to make this more difficult for Cuomo to win on election day? You bet.
Most of the people who are loyal to me, and they've been loyal for a long time, they're just not going to vote. I am at the top of the ballot for all Republicans running. So if suddenly I had a drug-induced psychosis and decided to drop out, I'm hurting everybody who's running. Public advocate, controller, borough president, especially city council. We have some really important city council races where if I dropped out, it might mean that people will not vote for them. How he is able to do that. You're welcome.
This is Queensbound F local train. The next stop is Lexington Avenue. This is a Queensbound F local train.